What's going on, guys? Twintuitive 717. I am back with another reading, hanging with the Saucy Beaver in a basket. Mega good vibes. My little baby. Just because someone said, oh, your cat talk is so embarrassing. It's like, shut up. Like, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to sound embarrassing, you know? Like, what do you think? You're going to hurt my feelings? No, I'm going to talk to my kitty whichever way I like. Okay. So I want to address like the whole masculine and feminine energy thing because I've been getting a lot of crazy just messages and downloads and just like with my own divine masculine about this whole twin flame thing and the idea that like, you know, men are men on this masculine twin flame journey or whatever the case is. Like they're waiting around like trying to balance their feminine energy, and the minute they do that, there's going to be union. And I feel like what's happening like with a lot of the feminine collective women is that on the journey, we have women who are acting out imbalanced feminine energy, and then we're calling them masculine women. So it's like we're degrading the masculine energy constantly, okay? So that's why I don't agree that there are men who are divine feminines. I feel like the majority of comments that I do get from men who claim to be divine feminines are usually in this energy of like complaining about a woman who just won't settle down or who, you know, continues to stay in their marriage. And instead of harnessing strong masculine energy to be able to let that go, they get into this chaser energy. So there's no strength in their masculine energy. And then on top of that, they see, let's say, for example, if it's an imbalanced woman, and I've heard men in my comments saying that, like, you know, they're divine masculine who is a woman. They like to party and, you know, they've betrayed them so many times. They've gone back to their ex. I feel like it's a mirrored effect. It's like imbalanced feminine energy is attracting imbalanced feminine energy. So the two can't help but connect with one another, okay? There's a lot of differences between, you know, the masculine and the feminine energy. There's a lot that women are able to do with the feminine energy that, like, men cannot, even if they're balanced in their feminine energy, right? So, for example, a woman walking down the street, you know, dressed provocatively might get some stares, some whistles, you know, but I feel like if a man were to do the same, the first thing you'd want to do is call the cops on them, right? Like, oh my God, what the hell, pervert. But if a woman does it, it's okay. Not for me, though. Like, I've been at the park with my kiddo, and I've seen a woman dressed, like, you know, boobs out, like, really inappropriately. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, you're a pervert, right? Like, I do agree with those things where it's like now you're seeing a rise in, you know, women who are exuding these types of behaviors, and rather than calling it for what it is, which is a woman who is imbalanced in her feminine energy, we're now labeling her as a masculine woman. Why would the masculine be labeled for someone who's exuding toxic behaviors? Oh, you must be a masculine woman then. That's the only time, right? Because if you guys look at the majority of readings on YouTube and stuff, many of the females are clicking masculine reading. It attracts you divine masculine. They're not going to go clicking divine feminine readings going, oh, let me see what's up with my masculine today. Let's see what's up with their feminine side. No, like, they're not doing that. So you guys are contradicting yourselves by telling me that it you know, it's all within us, and then all of a sudden constantly clicking on divine masculine readings to find out about your man, because you know that the way the readings are spit, it generally talks about dudes doing dude stuff, like the running and the ghosting and all of that good stuff, right? So I just feel like it needs to be addressed because it'll help others to understand the readings a lot more clearly instead of always trying to sidestep away from speaking the truth like it is, okay? So I'm going to start with the men, the masculines. What's going on with the divine masculines? And guys, I'll tell you, like, a lot of the comments of men in my channel who are claiming to be divine feminines, like, a lot of the times when they comment, I'm like, dude, like, you really need to, like, pull up your socks, you know? Like, you are dogging after somebody, clearly here, in your comment that you're leaving, and then on top of that, like, calling them a masculine woman. It's like, no, just call it for what it is. It's a woman who is being a woman. She's using, you know, all of that emotional energy to manipulate you or to cause some kind of reaction. But rather than saying to themselves, I'm going to harness my divine masculine energy even more strongly, they end up falling into the same pattern, sitting around all day watching tarot, drowning in their emotions, not being able to get into their masculine energy and take the action that's needed to heal, right? Because if you're healing, you're not sitting there spewing comments and getting triggered over a general reading meant for the collective, thinking that it's, oh, they're talking about my person, let me just, go crazy in the comments here. A lot of these men who are leaving these comments on the videos, guys, I'll be the first one to tell you, like, the first thing I want to say to them, and I've been refraining from doing that because, it's so sensitive, you don't want to offend anybody, but it's like, I want to be like, dude, like, go outside, go to the gym, like, go down to the golf range, like, chill out, but they're stuck in that toxic emotional state, and then at the same time, they're looking at the actions of this woman and associating negative actions, pushing away the relationship, manipulating them as masculinity, and that's not what masculinity is. So that's why I am trying to slowly break all of this down so that we get out of these readings that constantly degrade the masculines or feel like the masculines are on this, like, turning wheel of trying to, like, balance themselves so that the divine feminines can align with them. It's just not, like, something that I feel is productive to the readings, okay? Because a lot of you out there who watch the readings for your men, divine masculines, it can get confusing with a lot of the spiritual stuff, right? Because then when you get into, like the reconciliation, it definitely brings about this energy of someone who's like, I'm a changed man, I'm so much more emotional, and I can tell you guys, like, it's not going to happen like that. Even just chatting with my own divine masculine, and, like, as long as we've been on the journey together, and, like, just understanding those key differences between, men and women. And maybe that's my purpose here. Maybe I'm not meant to read for people who, feel any other way. Maybe I'm really here to help people who are just like, okay, all the other stuff is good and dandy, but, sometimes it's hard to focus in on what I need to do as a woman, feminine, and what I need to do as a man, divine masculine, when I keep constantly hearing, oh, well, you got to balance both energies, and, like, when you're in this, you got to be more feminine, and, like, I just really feel like everybody is getting more clear on, like, who they are and, like, what the energy is all about within them, and trying to find balance there, more than you're trying to find your feminine side. I feel like many of us are at that place where it's like, damn, like, I don't even know if, like, I've fully embraced all of my feminine energy. And then same for men. Hey, I don't even know if I've really utilized all of my masculine energy. But then here I am trying to balance the other one. I feel like that balance naturally occurs within us. But when we're here experiencing the brunt of things, men think differently. They react differently. Like, even speaking as, like, a mom, like, it's an instinctual thing. Like, if my son is sick, he wants mom. It doesn't matter how close of a relationship he has with his dad. When he's sick, he wants mom, right? So the energy is very, very, very different, right? It doesn't matter, like, how balanced my son's father is, which he is. I do see that within him. It doesn't matter how nurturing he is. He'll have the full works ready for my son. Dad's made chicken noodle soup. Dad's got, a cozy bed ready for you, ready to nurture you in that way. But it's like, nope, I want mom to do it. Why? It's because I'm his mama, right? He needs that womanly touch, that woman energy from a divine feminine, right? Because there's certain things that I do and I pick up on when it comes to taking care of my son that maybe his dad won't pick up on. And not that it's a bad thing, but there is a significant role to play as me being a woman, harnessing or focusing in on my feminine energy. And my son picks up on it too, guys. He's only 6 years old, and he intuitively and instinctively picks up on it too. Okay? So let's see what's coming out here in the cards in regards to this energy in this reading. Okay, so we have truth and we have expression. I feel like that mask as well is for many of the divine masculines who may feel like hidden, okay? Hiding from you, kind of peeking out from the dark, because I did talk in previous readings about this getting too overwhelming with a lot of the masculines sometimes, particularly when we try to come at them with all of this twin flame stuff. It's like it is toxic feminine stuff, guys. It's like using your emotions to like manipulate someone into the journey. It's like, no, they'll get it in their own time. Give them space, let them go, let them be with the karmic, let them move to another country, let them ghost you, let them ignore you, right? But for many of the divine feminines, they get into this cycle of using that feminine energy, okay, which many men mistake as masculine energy, but it's not, okay? They use feminine energy in order to warp it so that they affect men on a different level, okay? A lot of the times, the pleading, the clinging, the getting hysterical, crying, sending paragraphs after paragraphs, longing for your masculines to understand you when it's like they can't. It's a man brain there, right? So you have to give it time to process in the way that it does, and when they come forward, they'll be able to express it to you. And I also feel like a lot of masculines, including my own, when it comes to how they feel about you, they'll show you. It's not going to be about talking about it. It's not going to be about like sharing these emotions over it. It's going to be about actions. Like, you guys are going to see it in the actions that they take on a grander scale. And that is how they're going to show you what this journey means to you. That's why many of you are waiting for your masculines to either call back or text back, and it never comes, because that's not how they express themselves. Oh, well, they should be balanced in their feminine energy and pick up the phone and text you some long paragraph. No, it's not going to happen. That's why they're ghosting. It's because when they're ready, they'll show you. And I have that experience with my own masculine as well. Okay, your masculine could be an earth sign for this reading, or maybe many of you are going through this kind of struggle of really trying to understand like where your masculines are coming from, and forgetting that it's like, oh yeah, it's a man, it's a dude, like they're doing what a man would normally do. Okay, and us sitting around as women and divine feminines waiting for them to balance their feminine side, no, it's not going to happen, guys. There's already as much balance as there could be when they're born. Okay, that's as good as it gets in terms of balancing and awareness, okay, is when you're born. It's either there or it's not. And then you grow it over time. But at the same time, like a lot of masculines, they're not concerned with this balance just yet. Many of us being born are still finding our way and being able to operate at the core energy that we feel. Okay, and that in itself is sometimes a struggle. And just based on everything collectively going on in the world, you know, many of us are slowly, like, I feel like finding that confidence to be in that truth and to speak that truth out loud. Okay, so this could be, again, an earth sign who's experiencing this. Okay, so storm and unexpected. This could cause some kind of tower moment for many of you. I know a lot of people, obviously, in the comments and stuff are feeling super triggered over it, but I don't care, because I do feel like I'm going to share this message for those of you who will find it and you're like, oh shit, yeah, that makes sense. You know, like, I really do need to focus in on growing my own feminine energies and realizing that just because you are, you know, aggressive or, you know, you may be more like protective of yourself and more on alert and things like that, don't associate it with you now being too much masculine. You know, it's like, if you're a feminine, you're a feminine. It just comes with balancing the softer sides of you, the side of you that is able to receive. And I feel like for many of you, it's to trust the world again. Okay, that is the feminine lessons there, is to trust the world and know that the world is a safe place. Okay, to be out there, out and about in the world, doing your thing in your feminine energy and knowing that you're safe, I feel like is one of the key lessons for many of us on this twin flame journey, is to walk in that feminine strength, and even with all of the hardships that we go through, is still continue to maintain that balance, right? All of the triggering from the masculine is, you know, it's driving everyone crazy. All of a sudden, you know, you have people in the comment sections getting really aggressive, wishing the worst on these men because they can't commit. It's like, whatever happened to just, okay, if you can't commit, go off on your own journey, then find yourself, and if it's meant to be, it'll be. So you have this wrath of the divine feminine energy, and that's why I have to point it out. Because a lot of the masculines are going through this journey kind of feeling like degraded, in a sense where it's like it's always the masculines who have to do the work, when I feel like a lot of the feminines as well have a lot of the work to do in terms of balancing their own feminine energy, instead of like, oh, it must be the masculine having to do all the work here. It's like a lot of the times letting go and detaching is part of balancing our feminine energy. Okay, and we have guarded and vulnerability. Like I said, a lot of triggering, right, going on when sharing these messages. Many people feeling like, oh, great, if it's not them balancing the feminine energy, then what else is there? But I feel like what else is there is the fact that you're focusing on everything except yourself. It's coming to light that maybe many of us are focusing in on trying to have these men be softer and be more loving and be more emotional when, really I don't feel like we want that. We want that from ourselves as women, divine feminine. And what we want to see from our masculines is that masculine energy about being more emotional. It's there. It's just in a different way. It comes in the form of like having patience and having honor and doing what's right and taking accountability. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys for this one. Okay, me and the saucy beaver will catch you guys in the next reading. Okay, bye guys.